Welcome to the mole hole, y'all. I'm the mole. We're venturing down the mole hole today. The video we're reacting to is Forest City. China built a $100 billion city in Malaysia, and no one lives there. So we're gonna check it out. There's another video where somebody else went and toured it. So we're gonna watch that after this video. Let's get it cracking. Let's see what's going on.
To the official Forest City website, and you'll see something spectacular. An enormous, ultra-modern megacity that resembles a glimpse into some utopian science fiction future. Exciting buzzwords like green and smart and dynamic, harmonious accompany dazzling photos of towering apartment blocks nestled amongst luscious pockets of greenery. The city itself, positioned on a man-made island, is surrounded on all sides by inviting white beaches that roll out to meet seemingly infinite crystal clear blue oceans. Truly, who wouldn't want to live in this tropical paradise? But we'll look a little closer and you'll notice something that turns this paradise into an existential nightmare. There are almost no people. The roads, while immaculately maintained, are completely empty. The beaches, luxurious swimming pools, water parks, and even the tennis courts likewise lack even the slightest sign of life. A BBC journalist visited Forest City in 2023, and not too surprisingly, the handful of people that do live there are desperate to escape, describing the city as a lifeless husk that quickly erodes the sanity of anyone trying to live in what is essentially a ghost town. Encapsulating just how unsettling Forest City can be, the BBC representative reported seeing a children's train doing endless laps around a deserted shopping mall, the entertainment gimmick not shut off despite there not being a single child or person in sight. So what happens here? How did a $100 billion real estate project get funded and partially built only to now sit with less than 1% of its residences occupied? Well, as always seems to be the case with highly ambitious, enormously expensive mega projects that ultimately fail, the story of Forest City is riddled with controversy, corruption, and a lot of very ill-conceived ideas imposed by a very few number of powerful people. How Forest City landed up abandoned is a broad, complicated topic, but we'll do our best to summarize the key points for you. There are two stories that we need to follow, that of the Chinese real estate bubble and that of private real estate investment firm Country Garden Holding. Let's start with the former. China experienced a real estate boom kicking off around 2003. It was at that time that the Chinese government changed its attitude towards ownership of real estate.
But I also seen a thing about in China. China actually arrested a bunch of real estate developers. I want to say either at the beginning of this year or summertime or sometime last year, where they arrested a bunch of real estate developers that they were bringing in. They were getting a bunch of money, getting a bunch of investors, and then building cities in remote areas that the cities would have never flourished, that had never been able to be sustainable because they're so far away from other stuff. They pretty much just built these cities in the middle of nowhere, collected a bunch of money from all these investors and pocketed it and built and unimaginable wealth off of it. But anyway, let's get back to the video.
Subscribed to the idea that real estate should be collectively owned. In the early 2000s, the government warmed up to the idea that private real estate ownership could be rather good for the economy. Accompanying the shift in policy was Premier Wen Jiabao, who in an effort to kick off the new market encouraged Chinese banks to offer cheap credit to those looking to invest in or buy property. An additional factor to keep in mind is how saving money works in China. If you have savings as a Chinese resident, simply putting the money in the bank isn't really an option. While money in Chinese banks does earn interest, that interest just doesn't keep pace with inflation. So ultimately, money left in the bank gradually loses value rather than gaining it, heavily incentivizing Chinese residents to invest their savings. But invest in what? Well, real estate is an excellent opportunity, and with the market suddenly booming, everyone with a bit of cash was eager to jump in and get involved. So, China went from having almost no real estate market to suddenly having countless middle-class and upper-middle-class Chinese residents collectively pouring in millions. The sudden economic shift, as you would expect, resulted in real estate prices gradually starting to climb. Exacerbating the situation was regional Chinese governments, almost all of which also decided to get in on the exploding new market. Eager for a bit of of quick revenue and more or less being given the green light, the regional governments of almost every province started to gather up investment capital, develop land with housing or retail outlets, and then sell or rent the property out as quickly as possible. At this point, however, everything was going exactly according to plan. The booming real estate market was indeed invigorating the Chinese economy, and the government was getting its slice of the pie. But lest there be any doubt, thrusting a lucrative new market into an already established economy is going to have consequences. An economic bubble began to form, real estate prices began to soar, and investors responded with a knee-jerk reaction. Everyone that could started to frantically buy up as much property as they possibly could, with some reports saying that certain investors snapped up dozens or even hundreds of properties. But importantly, the buy-up wasn't happening because the investors intended on developing the property. They were simply speculating that prices would continue to climb and then they'd walk away multi-millionaires. Now, the Chinese government obviously hadn't intended on creating a spiraling speculators market, but that is exactly what they got. The bubble continued to grow, and before long, average property values had tripled, while prime real estate in bigger cities had gained up to 10 times its original value. As a byproduct, those middle-class Chinese citizens looking to invest suddenly couldn't even afford local real estate, once again leaving them with savings and nowhere to invest it. That's where Country Garden Holding came in. Forest City was first proposed as a 20-year investment project in 2006, right about the same time when Jai Bao was encouraging local real estate investment. The core concept of Forest City was a luxury island established.
Check it though. You know what I'm saying? This is what it was supposed to have been when it was completed. All built out like this. It's actually pretty cool looking. It is pretty cool.
Established off the coast of Malaysia, specifically in the Johor Bahru district. The island was to be self-contained, would offer ample living spaces, and would have its own schools, its own shopping malls, and would even provide a host of luxury amenities. Now, if you're thinking that there wasn't an island off the coast of Malaysia, well, not to worry, the island was to be reclaimed from the sea, otherwise known as artificially created. That the decided on construction zone was designated a wetland of international importance under the Ramsar.
For some reason, I feel like the cities that these islands and stuff they build up, and anything they build up off of the lands, it seems like the ocean starts to reclaim them. Like you got Manhattan, there's a project that's been put forward of actually building it out and adding and then raising its sea level. It was pretty interesting watch. But it seems like the section of Manhattan that has that's man-made is actually eroding away because it is built way back. You know what I mean? Years and years and years ago.
Our convention was more or less just ignored, including a strict declaration that no development should occur in the area unless that development was nature tourism or for research and education. As a consolation, the single large island was ultimately reduced to a series of 4 smaller islands, though the first of the 4 that now exists, 3 square kilometers in size, still violates countless conservation guidelines. Okay, so now let's turn our attention to the company responsible and the biggest player in today's story, Country Garden Holding. Country Garden saw what was happening in the Chinese real estate market and, well, credits where it's due, came up with a rather genius idea. The Chinese middle class were priced out of the local market, so surely they'd embrace the idea of investing offshore, namely in Malaysia. Forest City was therefore, by design, a means for Chinese residents to maintain their savings with an investment in affordable luxury real estate. Initial investment in Forest City was strong, and Country Garden Holding went ahead, pouring an initial few million into establishing the first artificial island. The kickoff phase of Forest City followed, going swiftly into construction and seeing its grand opening in 2016. Only about 14% of the intended city was completed, but even this taste test included multiple towering apartment blocks collectively capable of housing around 700,000 people. The other 3 islands would follow after the first sold out, Country Garden insisted, indicating that the company clearly expected units to sell like hotcakes. And why wouldn't they? The grand opening was attended by the Malaysian Prime Minister, Najib Razak, who, in an effort to boost interest, declared Forest City a duty-free zone. The popular Sultan Ibrahim Ismail of Johor likewise gave his official approval, all but setting the stage for what would be a buying frenzy. Keep in mind that Country Garden, in conjunction with Malaysian state government subsidiary Kumpulan Prasarana Rakyat Johor, had collectively invested around $100 billion. It was at this time, however, that things started to go
So those two donated. They invested $100 billion. Those two themselves.
so wrong. A series of unfortunate events kicked off and wouldn't stop until Forest City was transformed into the ghost town that we know today. Alright, let's roll the clock back to 2008. The real estate bubble was expanding out of control. Businesses and private residents were eagerly snapping up real estate, and regional Chinese governments were leaning heavily into quick turnaround investment opportunities. Well, that's when the global financial crisis hit. The world tightened its collective belt, and China suddenly found itself with significantly less demand for its exports. This, of course, was a serious problem, and if steps weren't taken to course correct, the entire country would head into recession. So, seeing where the economy was showing the signs of strongest growth, the government released a stimulus package of $568 billion, almost all of it directly into infrastructure development and real estate. The good news is that the stimulus package worked, and the Chinese economy stormed through the financial crisis virtually unscathed. The bad news is, and you can surely see where this is going, that the stimulus package also ballooned the real estate bubble into a swollen nightmare. Provincial governments, having already leaned into real estate development projects, now turned the dial up to overdrive. $500 billion was up for grabs, and governments wanted as much of it as they could get their hands on, pouring more and more into development projects that were quickly getting less and less affordable. More to the point, even poorly thought out, inefficient, and downright ill-conceived projects were being greenlit, many of which failed outright and weren't producing any return on investment. So while it seemed like China was enjoying a wave of exciting economic development, in reality the real estate market was getting oversaturated and overpriced, while provincial governments were amassing billions in debt. By 2011, the Chinese government saw what was happening and frantically slammed on the brakes, deciding to implement deflation measures before the market collapsed. New policies, now aimed at curbing real estate investment, were hastily rushed into practice. The key policies included a 40% down payment requirement, as well as restrictions preventing buyers in major cities from owning more than 2 properties. Topping it all off was a new property sales tax, the most surefire way to dampen any booming market. As was the intention, real estate prices began to drop, finally bringing the situation under control. Or at least, the market was now under control as far as the government was concerned. For those speculative buyers that had been throwing millions into the thriving market, what they heard was the abrupt clanging of alarm bells. Speculative investors were now at risk of losing everything, and they responded in the only way they could. They panicked. So, following years of rampant investment into real estate, the market turned suddenly into a frantic sell-off. The sell-off got so chaotic that some even started selling valuable property at a fraction of what it had originally been bought for, swiftly leading the market into potential disaster. The government took action again, this time introducing a policy that forbade property being sold if the price was lower than 20% of the established market value. With that chaos playing out, let's turn our attention back to Forest City. The real estate market developments in China weren't necessarily a problem for the offshore investment strategy. Local property prices were still up, even if they had been somewhat tamed, and middle-class citizens were still struggling to find investment opportunities. So, naturally, initial Forest City sales were strong, and the project was set to be a success. But here comes the first spanner in the works. The government was well aware of the debt the provincial governments had been racking up, and was likewise getting concerned about the rising inflation indirectly caused by the $500 billion stimulus package. So, the last thing the government wanted was enormous sums of cash flowing out of China rather than into the local economy. Hence, leader Xi Jinping, again attempting to control a situation his government had created, decided to impose an annual foreign spending limit of $50,000 for all Chinese citizens. While implementing the new policy, Xi Jinping made the statement that has acted as a guiding principle for the Chinese real estate market. Houses are for living in, not for speculation. Thus, the first nail was hammered into Forest City's coffin. sales began to slow dramatically, but Country Garden Holding clung to their multi-billion-dollar investment, hoping the tides would again turn in their favor. The tides did indeed change, but not in a favorable direction. Malaysia ran into its own political crisis starting around 2018. Now, we're not going to go into details here, but integral to this story is the Prime Minister Najib Razak, who had enthusiastically supported Forest City, was unexpectedly replaced by Mahathir Mohamad, who was openly opposed to an influx of new Chinese residents. Investors, already cautious about putting their money into a politically unstable region, were sent running for the hills as Mahathir Mohamad called Forest City a negligent waste of money and declared that he intended on banning foreigners from purchasing the dwellings. This wasn't a ban he was able to follow up on, given the legal ramifications, but sales for Forest City now more or less ground to a complete halt. Any remaining embers of hope were quickly snuffed out by the COVID pandemic, which swept the world. As it stands, it's rather difficult to get a real estimate of how many units were sold or how many residents stay in the handful of occupied apartments. As far as sold units are concerned, an estimate says around 15,000 of the apartments were purchased in 2019. Estimates of residents living in the apartments vary drastically from just 500 to around 9,000, though these numbers often include the small army of workers responsible for keeping the city maintained. Whatever the real numbers, it's pretty safe to say that Forest City has failed spectacularly. Though, for a bit of additional perspective, Forest City really is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the frankly gobsmacking aftermath of the Chinese real estate bubble. The world is all but littered with fully abandoned or partially abandoned development projects that are either far too expensive to rent out, or were never sold at all, or were never needed.
Like I was saying just earlier, that they had a big old thing where they were building cities that were never gonna be able to be lived in. So China's got all kinds of cities all over. If I'll have to react to that video, show you guys what I'm talking about. But yeah,
Needed in the first place. Some of the most infamous examples include the Kangbashi New Area in Inner Mongolia, where living space for 300,000 currently only has 30,000 residents. The new South China Mall, the biggest mall in the world, offers 2,300 retail spaces, of which only 47 are occupied. In the city of Tianjin, office space was erected so quickly and so haphazardly that a recent estimate suggested the buildings won't actually be needed for another 25 years. As far as Forest City is concerned, there are signs that the project may regain some sort of life. Perhaps most telling is that Country Garden Holding has continued to keep Forest City structures well maintained and seems adamant to keep doing so, this despite talks that the project would be sold or seized as part of a debt restructuring effort. The latest Malaysian Prime Minister, Anwar Ibrahim, meanwhile, also seems to have warmed up to the project, even making an effort to reignite foreign interest. In August 2023, Forest City was declared a special financial zone with incentives aimed at attracting skilled overseas workers. There's no official word on how well the incentives are working, though Country Garden Brands manager Shi Yu claimed in December 2023 that Forest City now had close to 10,000 residents. That number is a bit questionable, but based on more unbiased reports, it does seem that most visiting the area go primarily to enjoy duty-free alcohol. Almost all visitors still leave before sundown, though, mostly because the dark, empty streets are reportedly really creepy.
all right, guys. That was pretty much the story behind it. Now we're going to watch react to another video. This one's by Ken Abroad. And it's titled "I Explored China's Failed $100 Billion City in Malaysia." So we're gonna check that out and see what the city actually looks like, and because I was expecting to actually get to see some like inside, like walk, like a tour of stuff, not just pretty much a rundown on everything. But
This is Forest City in Malaysia.
This one's quite a bit longer, so we're gonna go ahead and react to this.
Chinese-built city often labeled as a ghost town and a failed project. But what's the reality like? In this video, we are here to uncover the truth about this place. Forest City is located at the southern tip of Peninsula Malaysia, right next to Singapore. It is built by China's largest property developer, Country Garden, with a budget of over $100 billion. The city is planned as a futuristic, eco-friendly and smart city designed to eventually be home to 1 million people. But what's the reality? reality? According to the media, it is a failed project and a ghost town. But is that really the case? Let's explore Forest City and investigate two key questions. Is it actually an empty ghost town, or is it a livable place that I would even consider moving to? Let's find out. Feel free to join. So I arrived at the airport ghost town, but is that really the case? Let's explore Forest City and investigate two key questions. Over $100 billion. The city is planned as a futuristic, eco-friendly and smart city designed to eventually
Just imagine, like, this is the skyline as they come
be
in.
home to 1 million people.
That is...
But what's the reality? According to the media, it is a failed...
Yeah. Needless to say, all the subtitles on there, but, like, look, that is... If this was, like, thriving, and that'd be an amazing... I bet you this would be an amazing little city to be... I guess it wouldn't be little, because they're estimating they want... If it was where it's supposed to have been, it'd have been a million people living there. Dang, there's a lot of stuff. This one says Malaysia's $100 billion luxury estate was supposed to be a living paradise. Instead, 6 years into development, it is a ghost town full of empty skyscrapers, desert roads, and take a look. For a city, the $100 billion. For a city of Malaysia that is now a ghost city. Yeah, let's get into it.
And a ghost town. But is that really the...
That is wild that they have invested so much money and built so much, and it is like, yeah, it is not doing
case.
Good.
Let's explore Forest City and investigate two key questions. Is it actually an empty ghost town, or is it a livable place that I would even consider moving to? Let's find out. Feel free to join.
Look at that. That is pretty. That's gorgeous. As you coming in, all them palm trees, and yeah, that'd be a dope city to visit to.
So I arrived at the airport in Johor Bahru, and then I took a Grab taxi to Forest City. The ride was about 40 minutes long, and I booked myself a room in the only hotel that was available to book on booking.com. Terima kasih. Thank you very much. Alright, let's check into the hotel first. Hello, good afternoon. Yes, please. I would like to check in, yes. First impression here in the hotel, pretty good. The lobby looked awesome. Let's see what the room
For being a ghost town, that's a really nice hotel.
will be like. And I also have a sea view, which I'm really looking forward to. Oh, we can have a glimpse to the ocean already here. And right over there, that's the bridge going to Singapore, and then we have Singapore over there. Wow, I think I am very happy with this room right here. Wow, it is big, it is spacious. I can see the ocean and the beach from here. This is the bathroom, a big mirror, and then the shower.
That's a damn hotel bathroom in the hotel room. That is wild. For this being deemed a ghost town or a failed city, like, this is an extremely nice hotel.
Toilet. So the main area is like this. A big king bed, a little seating area, a desk right here, and then have a look at this. The ocean view from my balcony. Oh wow, this is cool, right? And over there in the background you can see Singapore. And yeah, everything here is green, fitting to the theme of the city, Forest City, the green city. And yeah, I am paying $85 here per night, including breakfast, which
He said $85 per night for the room, including breakfast. You ain't getting nothing that's nice for that price in America. Nah, nothing.
I think is a really good price. But now let's start exploring the whole city to find out what's really going on here. The staff of my hotel told me that I can rent electric scooters nearby, so I headed to the shop and got one. Okay, I got myself this electric scooter. 1 hour electric scooter is 80 ringgit, which I think is a very steep price, but nevertheless this will give us the opportunity to explore the whole city. And yeah, I do have a map actually. Let me find a place where I can actually show you the plan for now, maybe right here. Okay, so in my hotel there was this map which I have now, and right here we have a map to explore around the seafront running and cycling track. And if you can see right here, we have a line. This is the 8-kilometer cycling route, which goes all around the city basically. So let's just follow the cycling route and explore the city. And I do even see a sign here, bike route. So I think we just need to follow the signs all around the city. Here we have a first sign indicating that this city is far away from being finished, land to be developed. And yeah, I actually read that only about 15 to 20% of the whole project is currently finished. So whatever we are seeing today,
that is only 20 to 30%. I think that's what he said, 20 to 30%. That is wild.
Today is far away from being what is supposed to be here in the near future. So there's a lot more to come than what we can see right now. I'm looking for the sales gallery.
Sales gallery?
Yeah.
That is the answer.
Over there? Can go here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said truth, and so you see a sales gallery.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Alright, yeah, I'm looking for the sales gallery, which is like one of the main centers here where they're actually selling units here, apartments. So I want to have a look at that. Okay, and I found the entrance to the sales gallery, so let's have a look what we can find out here. I would be curious to find out some actual prices for apartments or condos here. Okay, so I had a look around the sales gallery and I found out some very interesting information. So first of all, they don't really speak English in there. The only person that I spoke to spoke only Chinese. So my whole conversation with her was with Google Translate, so it might be not 100% accurate. But she told me that currently there are 26,000 units available, so condo units or apartment units.
26,000 condos available. This video is from 2 months ago. 2 months ago. They could be different. They could have sold some. They could have been getting them gone. You know what I'm saying? But 26,000 condos still available as of 2 months ago.
To move in right away, 26,000 are available at the moment, but she also told me that many are already sold out. And there's actually a very big model inside, which is huge. You can see the huge city. You can see what is already finished and then also what is planned. And she told me that everything is supposed to be finished in about 20 years from now on. And if they really finish everything that is displayed there, it's going to be a really big city and it looks really nice. And yeah, I also asked regarding prices. So she told me that it's about 1,000 ringgit per square meter, or you can buy a full 2-bedroom apartment right away for 1 million ringgit, which is about $200,000. Now, I am not an expert when it comes to price.
$200,000 US dollars for a 2-bedroom apartment. Here, that is, you buy a house.
Of condo units or apartment units. So I'm actually not 100% sure if 200,000 is a lot for a 2-bedroom apartment. Obviously, if you buy like a studio unit or a 1-bedroom apartment, the prices will be a bit lower. But she only told me the prices for the 2-bedroom apartments, about 1 million ringgit or $200,000 US. I later did some research about property prices in Malaysia in general, and I found this website right here where you can purchase condos in Malaysia. For example, in Johor Bahru, which is actually the city right next to Forest City, you can get a 4-bedroom condo for less than 500,000 ringgit. So that is about $100,000 US. Or in the capital Kuala Lumpur, you can get this beautiful looking condo with 2 bedrooms for about the same price, so about 100,000 US dollar. So my impression is that the prices in Forest City are more expensive compared to the rest of the country. And that is also something that I read a lot about the whole project here. One of the biggest criticisms of Forest City is that the prices are supposedly too high for the locals to afford living here. And to give you an example, the food prices here were, in my impression, about double to triple the price compared to other places in Malaysia, so there might be some truth to it. So we now found out that the prices here are probably higher compared to the rest of.
That will also hinder some stuff too. Like, you can't afford, like, if it's that much, people are just gonna go. I guarantee you, Malaysia's probably got some really nice, other really cool places to go in Malaysia. So they probably, like, why spend 2-3 times the amount if you can go to some way cooler stuff that's just as cool, or you know what I mean?
The country, but are there actually people living here, or is it really an abandoned ghost town? Let's explore more and find out. Now, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure if I am legally allowed to drive an electric scooter that has a maximum speed of 28 km per hour on the road here, but I also don't think that it bothers anyone here, because as you can see, the roads are pretty empty. Actually, I think I can go even faster if I up the speed here. Let's see what's the maximum speed of this thing. 25, 28, 31. Oh my god, we're breaking speed records here. 37, oh wow. But yeah, the guy who rented it to me told me I should go to number 1 speed to a safe battery. Otherwise it might not last for an hour. Hello. I want to go to the restaurant here. Over there? Okay, thank you. Terima kasih. So we do have a lot of gates here. So I think you can probably only enter if you actually live here. But yeah, I want to check out what shops they have here.
So they're gated communities inside this, but I get what Malaysia's in China, right? Let me look. I don't even know. Yeah. 1 second. It's a country in Asia. All right, so it's a city in Asia. It's not part of China.
So I don't really want to enter the residential area anyway. Okay, I think here. If I turn left here, then I can access all the shops. All right, let's look what we have here. So this is, I think, a post office. So I think that everything that you need to live here is already here. You have supermarkets here. This one, for example, is a supermarket. I saw a haircut place earlier. We have a hot pot restaurant here. Post office. And yeah, something that I noticed already. Everything here is Chinese. Like, you see it right away here. We have all these Chinese shops here. There are Chinese characters everywhere. Also in my hotel, all the signs are in English and in Chinese, not in English and in the local language, Bahasa Melayu. So you can see immediately who is the target customer group here. It's Chinese people. Fresh market. And then something written in Chinese underneath, which probably means the same. Let's have a quick look. Oh, here. Everything in Chinese, not even in English. Yeah, we also have a lot of Chinese products here. This is coming from mainland China, I think. So you don't really find a lot of local products here. I had a look earlier already in another supermarket, which is right next to my hotel, and it was basically the same. Lots of Chinese products. Yeah, this is all Chinese here. I'm not an expert when it comes to Chinese brands, but yeah, since I spent some time in China earlier this year, I recognize some of the things here, like this one, for example. That's quite popular, actually, I think. And then here, yeah, once again, more and more Chinese signs. Chinese noodle restaurant, I think. Yeah, hello. To be honest, I feel a little bit like I am not in Malaysia. I feel a little bit like I am in China. Everything Chinese, everyone here speaks Chinese. Everything is Chinese here.
So it's a country and it's off of Malaysia, which is in Asia, but everything's in Chinese. But it's also being developed by the #1 real estate developer in China, the something Gardens.
So that is quite interesting, right? That we are actually in Malaysia, but everything here is Chinese. And if you know about Malaysia, actually, Malaysia is a very mild country. There are basically 3 main ethnicities here: the Malays, the Indian, and the Chinese. So there are many Chinese people or people that have a Chinese background in Malaysia anyway. So many people in Malaysia also speak Chinese. But I think that the target group for the area here is not the Chinese people that are living in Malaysia. It's mainland Chinese people. I don't think that the local Chinese are the target customer group here. There's a sign here, Regalia Park, which I think is the name of a hotel, but that was not a hotel that I could find on booking.com. So maybe there are more hotels here, but you can't find them on booking.com or Agoda, which are usually websites that Western tourists are using. They definitely have other sites, hotel booking sites in China. So I could imagine that maybe if you go to a Chinese hotel booking site, maybe you can find more than one hotel here. Because yeah, on booking.com, at least for the dates that I am here now, there was literally only one option for me, the hotel where I'm staying now. Maybe if any one of you has access to Chinese hotel booking sites, have a look what you can find and let us know in the comments. That would be interesting. I should add though that there were some options on Airbnb that I saw. So some of the apartments in these buildings are actually listed on Airbnb. Okay, and after just a 3-4 minute ride, we came to the northern end of Forest City. So if I would have taken the road over there, then that's where you leave the whole area already. So this is now the last row of apartment buildings here. And I want to mention something that I noticed here. But let me find a parking spot first.
Them apartment buildings are ginormous. Ginormous.
I'm famous, right?
Famous?
Yeah.
I'm not famous. No.
I saw your video on Facebook, Instagram.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Thanks for watching. Do you live here?
No,
No?
I live outside here. Just
Outside.
go fishing.
Fishing here.
Yeah.
Oh, this one you catch today?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like your leg. Oh, oh wow.
So
Oh, that's a good fish. How is it here? Do you like Forest City?
yes, a lot.
Yeah. What do you like about the place?
I think the view.
The view?
Not a lot of people here.
Not a lot of people here, yeah. What's your name?
Paka.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you. Good luck with catching more fish.
Thank you so much.
Okay, have a good day.
Appreciate it. Have a good
Bye
day.
bye. Bye bye. Alright, there you heard it. The local said it's actually not bad here. He actually said he likes it here. It's pretty good. We might have another case here. I don't want to say it too early, but we might have another case here of Western media reporting very negative about something China related, and then the reality is very different. But let's not judge too early. Let's judge at the very end of this video. Okay, I am at the very end now, and there's a gate here, so I can't pass here because I think this is leading into another purely residential area, which is, I hope you can see it, the line right here. But basically, if we would follow here, then we could go, at least in theory, back to my hotel, which is right here. But yeah, I think these are all residential areas, which you can see from above now from my drone shots, and you can even see.
But it's cool how they like cut off like where you can't just drive back into the like living areas of the town. Like the tourists can't just drive into people's neighborhoods and go. Yeah.
See that some of the houses here are like proper houses and not just these condo skyscrapers. So they also have proper houses here. So you have a choice here. You can either move into these high residential buildings, or you can also get a proper house here. And by the way, this is the first episode of a series that I'm starting now, where we are visiting Chinese related places like this one all around Southeast Asia. So each episode is going to be in a new country, and this one is the first episode. So feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, to follow this journey. Oh, looks like the people that are living here, they also have like a shuttle service, an electric, how do you call it, tuk-tuk? Mini tuk-tuk, mini bus, something like that, which can take them all around the city. Also, what I find interesting, maybe you know the movie I Am Legend with Will Smith, where he is kind of the last man left on Earth, and the movie plays in New York City, and in the whole movie the city is covered with plants, so nature takes back the city after all the humans are gone. And it actually looks very similar here, because on all the apartments you see plenty of green plants, like even here hanging on the side, even on the balcony of my hotel there are plants hanging. So everywhere here you see that. And to be honest, that also adds maybe a bit of the atmosphere of this place looks abandoned, right? Because nature takes over the place again. But here it's not like
It gives it a cool look though. All the greenery and makes it look pretty.
in the movie. In the movie it is because the humans are gone and nature takes back the city. But here it is made on purpose to make the city more green. But I can imagine that that adds the effect of this city actually looking a bit abandoned because of all the green plants around. And yeah, once again, we have another sign here, land to be developed. And this is actually, I think, the 4th or the 5th sign like this that I see here. So yeah, there is really more to come. And to be honest, I think I can already say that I am very curious how this place will look in, let's say, 4 or 5 years. I think a lot of things will change here in the next years. Forest City International School. So they also have an international school here, which makes sense. Of course, if you want to be attractive to people, to families, then you also need to have a school nearby. So that of course makes sense. It is a bit fun, to be honest. Like, the city is not that crowded with cars, so just riding around with an electric scooter like this is actually quite fun. How do I go back to the other part of the town? Maybe let me ask the guy. Hello, can I continue here?
Yes.
And-
Forest City.
And then how do I go back to Marina Hotel?
Marina Hotel.
Yeah,
After you go straight,
yeah.
my friend.
And then I can turn like this? Yeah?
Like
So I don't need to go here.
yes.
Can here.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Terima kasih.
Sama.
I also have to say, all the people here are so friendly and welcoming. Like, we have all these security guards all around here, and they are always very friendly and helpful. Okay, so this is now another part of Forest City. Like, I don't know, if you drive by car, maybe 5 to 8 minutes away from the area where I'm staying, my hotel area. So this, I think, is purely a residential area here. And yeah, once again, I can't enter over there. But it looks very similar like the area we have seen before. We have some supermarkets and restaurants around the corner here. But yeah, the impressions here are the same. I mean, just look at the amount of cars that is parked here. These are all people either working or living here. Probably living here, because I think this is not the parking area for the staff that works here. So does this look so far like an abandoned ghost town to you? Like what all
It does not look like an abandoned ghost town to me.
the media reports about this place? But yeah, I would say let me head back. I also have to return the bike. I'm already 15 minutes over my time. That means I have to pay extra, which this is actually quite, I still think this is really pricey. 80 ringgit for an hour. Now I'm probably gonna stay 1.5 hours, so I have to pay extra. So I would say let me return the bike, and then let's check out the main beach area around my hotel. That's the next plan. But wow, look at the buildings here. That looks really cool. This is actually a place where I have the feeling of being in a city now. What a place here. I like big cities, so this is actually a very cool place for me. All these high buildings here. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I am in the mall now, which is right next to the beach of my hotel actually. And does it look abandoned to you here? actually quite a few people around here. There are duty-free shops here, there's a supermarket here, there are a few restaurants here which seem to be mostly Chinese, like the one right here behind me. But also down there there's a food court where you can get more like fast food style snacks and drinks, smoothies. But as you can see, plenty of people around here. So it's not like an abandoned place at all. And then yeah, when we go down here, literally like 100 meters over there, we have the beach and the ocean. Also, I have to mention that at the moment it is Sunday afternoon. So I guess it is a bit busier here on the weekends, because I can imagine that also on the weekends maybe people from Singapore come over. It's like only half an hour drive from Singapore to reach Forest City. So I can imagine that this is actually becoming a popular weekend destination trip for people from Singapore. So maybe it is not as busy here on the weekdays as it is at the moment, which is here Sunday afternoon now. But also it looks beautiful here. If you have a look at the beach here, we have the coconut trees here. And yeah, like I said before, it's fairly busy here. Definitely not abandoned at all. Let's actually check out the beach properly.
Imagine that. Western media lies about something.
There's a bar here called the Light Bar, which is also a restaurant. Oh, I have to say, the beach actually looks really, really nice. Properly maintained, clean. Reminds me a bit about Sentosa Beach, which is over there in Singapore, which I have visited about a year ago. Which is also like a man-made beach. Very clean, very well maintained, and it's actually very similar here. Oh, look, the restaurant is totally full with people. We have lots of people here. Yeah, so far I'm not really sure what to think. The first impressions here, definitely not what I would have expected. I was expecting an abandoned place. I was expecting to be the only person around here based on all the reports I read or all the other videos from other YouTubers I've seen about this place. And now I'm spotting something German over there, which is an old German Volkswagen. I'm wondering, what is that car doing here? This is the first item I see around here, the first thing I see around here that actually looks abandoned. Like something that you would expect to see here when you read all the negative reviews about this place. So I'm actually wondering what this old German car is doing here, right in front of the ocean. Hello, hello. Apa kabar? Where are you from? Nepal?
Yes.
Oh, namaste. Oh,
You're from
I'm from Germany.
Germany?
Germany, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, last year I was in Nepal.
Yes.
I was in Kathmandu
Oh, yeah.
and Nagakot, Bhaktapur. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. What are you doing here? Holiday?
Holiday.
Holiday. You live in Singapore?
No, Malaysia working.
Oh, you live in Malaysia?
Malaysia.
Oh, and come here for holiday. Oh, how do you like it?
Nice.
Nice? Oh, very good. Okay, enjoy. Oh, some people from Nepal doing holiday here. Are you from Malaysia?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're here for holiday?
Yeah.
Oh, how do you like it?
Huh?
You like it here?
Yeah, like
Are you from?
I'm from Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
Coming for holiday?
Yeah. I read about this place before, and I read it's very empty and abandoned and no people here.
But here got people.
But now I come here and so many people. And beautiful, looks nice. Let's actually see how scary it is to walk up here. So you see it gets pretty narrow and more narrow and narrow.
Never in my life I walk up them steps. Nope.
The more you walk to the top. And yeah, it looks like maybe 2 meters down
Screw heights. Screw being up high.
there. Oh, this is actually... Okay, here we are. You have to hold your balance to not fall down. But then you can have a view over to Singapore right there. Okay, we already saw the car, which was or looked pretty abandoned. And here's actually a boat that also looks abandoned. So here and there we have a few things that actually do fit to the negative narrative that you can read about this place. So this boat I think hasn't been in use for a while. This, by the way, right here is the pool area of my hotel, which I also really like. It's a huge pool here. And what's interesting is, check this out. I think this is a wedding venue. Looks like a perfect place to celebrate something. Forest City Country Garden Pacific View. And then imagine you're having your wife or your husband here, walking down this aisle here, and then all the guests are sitting there and sitting there. Oh, this is a beautiful place to have a wedding, right? And this is where you're standing and saying, yes, I want. Do you say that in English? In German it's ja, ich möchte oder ja, ich will. I think in English it would be yes, I want. I want to spend a life with you. You know what I mean, right? But yeah, beautiful place surrounded by all the coconut trees here. Oh, what a place. And then actually one of the rooms there, that's my room up there somewhere. Okay, what's also interesting, I'm like 200, 300 meters away from my hotel now and away from my hotel pool. And there's a Forest City water park here, which is like a public pool. And I think I read over there you need a wristband in order to go swimming here. So I guess you can probably purchase a wristband here and then just use the public pool here. So you don't need to stay in the hotel over there to have access to a pool here. And the area here looks very similar to the pool area that I have in my hotel. Very nice, well maintained, a big pool.
That's such a dope pool. That'd be dope. Go to a hotel and have a pool area to take the kids to go swimming and stuff in like that.
Some chairs to sit down. We have the coconut trees around here. Pretty nice actually. But yeah, I'm actually on the way to a beach bar. There's a beach bar over there where I think I can get dinner. And well, now it is 7 p.m. and the beach looks like this. This is crazy. Wow, once again, you hear all the news about this place. This is an abandoned city, a ghost town, nobody is living.
This is definitely a thing where the media is saying this has failed because it's mainly backed by Chinese to build it in Malaysia. So, yeah.
Living here, and have a look at this. This is what the beach looks like at sunset time. So fortunately the sunset is over there, so we can't see it from here. But yeah, this quite exactly 7 p.m. now. And the beach is full with people. Okay, I definitely see people having food here. And also I see lots of beers on the tables. Which, to be honest, is quite untypical for Malaysia. Many restaurants in Malaysia don't even sell beer. So it actually surprises me a bit. Or actually, I'm not really surprised because this is kind of a special zone made for tourists. For Chinese tourists mainly. Check it out. This is the deserted ghost town place. Plenty of people at the beach. I heard before that this place is a ghost town and nobody is here.
Ghost town actually because the MCO coming and outside people cannot come in. So
that was during COVID.
Yes, so the seller maybe very problem of that.
Yeah, but now I come here, I was expecting everything empty and nobody here, but now so many people here.
We open already now and we're trying to build up this building all place. So we're trying lah.
Are these people here all tourists or also people that live here?
Also the people have lived here, but here is very like how to say, foreigners lah, not local.
So most people here are tourists,
yes.
Maybe from Singapore.
Yes.
How is it to live here?
I think very nice. The views, the people, and here like temple, very slowly, very chill.
By the way, while I'm waiting for the food, I got a lemon tea here as well already, quite good. And then look at the sky. We have the pink clouds there now. That looks really beautiful actually. And it's really lively here now. Check it out, so many people around me. Especially many families. I feel like this is a very family-friendly place. I see lots of families all day actually around here already. So I feel this is like a holiday place for families. Okay, and by now it's actually pretty dark around here. And I just had my dinner. I ate the burrito. The meat skewers were actually really delicious, so that was a good recommendation of the guy here. And then also the mashed potato with cheese was interesting but also delicious, and the vegetables on the side. And what I really like here is the atmosphere. Sitting here right by the beach, having the look over to Singapore. Fresh.
Those little like tent things are cool. These things right here. These things are really cool. It's like a teepee that's like 6.5 feet off the ground.
Fresh wind in my face, so I'm really enjoying sitting here for dinner. Okay, I paid 64 ringgit for the full meal. And yeah, this is the name of the bar, Light Bar, which I think is actually the only bar here at the main beach at least. So that was a very interesting day. I'm going to spend the night here now, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to give you my final thoughts and my final review. And I also want to show you the night view from my balcony actually now. What's really interesting to see now is the night view here. So these are the apartment buildings over there, and as you
This is freaking cool. The lit up buildings and stuff. It shows it's not a ghost town. It shows the Western media is lying about this place.
can see, quite a few apartments have light on now in the evening, and I guess that these are all the apartments that are occupied, or probably there are some more even occupied, because not everyone is probably at home at the moment. But as you can see, quite a few lights are on over there, so it can't be that empty. And to also show you the night view from my balcony, let's see how Singapore looks in the dark. Yeah, we have the, not really a skyline, but you see all the lights over there at the other side of the ocean. I was hoping to see maybe the Marina Bay Sands Hotel from here far in the distance, but can't be seen from here unfortunately. Alright, it is the next morning now, and yeah, what did we learn? Is this place an abandoned ghost town as described in many media reports? Definitely not. But is this place a city full of life? Also not. I also have to mention that the scene that you saw from the beach from yesterday evening with all the people around, that was filmed on a Sunday evening, and now it is Monday around noon, and you can see almost no people around here. So I think that during the week it looks a bit different here compared to what we can see here on the weekend. But nevertheless, I think what we saw here is far away from an abandoned ghost town. Now, to answer the question, would I personally move here at the moment? Probably not, because I think for my liking it is still a bit too empty here. Especially I would like to have more choices of restaurants, also more international choices. I'm missing like a big mall or something like that. So I think personally at the moment I would not move here, but I would definitely come again for a holiday. In fact, I actually just extended my stay here for 2 more days. So I'm just going to chill here, chill by the pool, by the beach, do some editing work here, because I think for holiday, this place is actually great at the moment. And I definitely also see the potential of this place. I think in like 3 to 5 years, this place will be very different from what it's now. So I think I will actually return to this place, maybe in a year or 2, and then I will maybe also make another video so we can check out what this place has become then. And yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts about this place in the comments down below. And then I am excited to visit another Chinese related place somewhere else in Southeast Asia, but that is going to be the next episode, so stay tuned for that. And if you haven't seen the previous video where I stayed in a very unique hotel in Shanghai, China, then feel free to check out the video right here. Stay healthy, stay positive, and then see you on the next episode. Ciao, guys. This is Forest City in Malaysia.
So it is a city that is growing, that just that's not very old, but is definitely not abandoned. I do not know what the next city will be. See, there's another one where YouTubers did like 5 months ago. But we're gonna find we're gonna find some abandoned ghost towns, and we're gonna explore them together. Have a good one.